Hiya, my name's Lizzie and I'm from the Yorkshire town of Doncaster, home to most of my family as well as a large Polish community, which also include my grandpa. My grandpa sadly passed away a few months ago. After my grandpa's death, it made me think more about my Polish roots, and with Polish being the second most spoken language in England, can I really relate to any of the Polish immigrants? I wanted to ask my mum how Polish she considered herself.
I don't consider myself to be particularly Polish. I'm very proud of Polish heritage, but I was born here and brought up English. I consider myself to be British, but as I say, very proud of where my parents came from. I do think our Polish roots are important. There's a sense of pride and being a little bit different to other people, coming from a mixed, multicultural family.
My grandpa first moved to England after he was held in a concentration camp during the Second World War. I went to visit my aunties to find out more.
When the war started, he was in eastern Poland, which was occupied by the Russians, and he and his aunt moved to Warsaw, which was occupied by the Germans, and then eventually they were split up and he was sent for forced labour in Germany. The photograph was taken about 1948, I think at Christmas time. It's in London, and Dad met the chap in the Gabardines, his uncle, who had already come to England, Felix Jabłonowski, and his wife Sophia, and their young son Michael, who's in his school uniform with a balloon in his mouth. And I think it's Christmas time and it's near Piccadilly Circus. Well, he was separated from his family members, so he met up with his uncle, and then they lost touch eventually, and then made up later. Got in contact later on. So eventually he was on his own for a long time. He didn't know what happened to the rest of his family. They were just separated.
Accepted it. I don't think he thought about it. I think he
got on with it. I
think.
think.
Young enough to not to trouble.
Yeah, young enough to sort of start again. Really, I think, rather than be all sad and think about the past.
I didn't feel by having parents that were English made me any less English. I was just unaware of it. Probably became more so aware of it older and appreciating what they went through and the struggles that they had on first coming into the country. But as a young child growing up, they were just my mum and dad. Might have spoken in funny accents, but that was about the only difference. It was very important for them that we were accepted. I don't know much about what they went through when they first came, but obviously they were met with prejudice, and so it was important to them. They anglicised the family name. We never spoke another language in the house, only English. So I think it was very important that we were integrated.
I went to meet my cousin Tom to see how being partly Polish affects his view on immigrants.
I don't see a problem if they come here and they get work. There's not a problem with it if the job's there to be taken, and if there's people in this country who aren't willing to do the work, and I don't see a problem with it at all. I know some people say they're taking all our jobs. Well, the vacancies were there to begin with, and they're just doing the work no one else wants to do.
Milosz moved to England with a friend 6.5 years ago. He now runs his own Polish restaurant in the middle of Doncaster town centre. I went to talk to him to find out more about why he moved to England.
Well, I'm coming for work. I came with my friend straight from Poland, staying in that flowers farm for about 4 months. Then we come to Doncaster. And it was really difficult first few months in Donny for me. Because, well, when I arrived to England, to be honest, don't know any English. Because I'm never ever learning English before in Poland. So that was really difficult few months for me. But after a few years, I'm still here.
Many Polish people come to Britain to learn new skills and to make money. Not all Polish immigrants are bothered about learning new skills, so they go to work for companies in low-skilled jobs. Many excel in this as they are hard workers, are prepared to work long hours and have excellent work ethics.
All factories, warehouses, shops, banks, all everywhere. They like when some Polish people going to work there, because everyone's saying we're working hard, which is not true. We're working normal.
But the majority of the people I know who own businesses or work in business always say if they interview someone Polish, they'll give them the job because they know they'll graft. They'll graft more than an English person would at the same work.
Proud because there's not too many people after a really short time, because 6.5 years is not really a long time to doing something. And I've got quite a nice place, just definitely in the town centre. I'm quite happy with it. Got a lot more English customers after, well, since the last 2 years. Got a lot more English customers than Polish. So that's the reason why I'm proud and really happy with it.
Biologically, I'm quarter Polish, but if people ask me about my family or if I do consider myself Polish, I would say I'm Polish, and I'd tell them how I'm Polish through my granddad. And if, I don't know, because there's a lot of Polish people in England today working, if people make remarks about Polish people, I'd always say, well, hang on a minute, I'm actually Polish myself. So, whilst I'm from England, I would consider a large amount of myself to be Polish.
But the heritage will always be there. I'll always feel that heritage, you know, that I'm half Polish. Even though I haven't spent much time in the country, it's still important to me. That's still...
So there's still a connection even though Grandpa's gone. I do think we've lost something. I do think it's up to our parents, not to us, to keep it going if we want to keep it going, and if we want to keep in contact with those people and keep those relations strong. So even though something's gone, I do think we can still keep something there as well. Your roots are who you are today. And I think if my granddad hadn't been who he was, I wouldn't be who I am today, and all the, especially for his generation with World War II and the things that happened there. So definitely I think that's made an impact on me, and I could have come from Poland without war, and I wouldn't have considered my Polish to be as important, but I think because part of my family survived the war and because of the stuff they went through, I think that makes me more proud to be Polish.
I've definitely learnt a lot about myself through this experience, as well as learning more about my family and Milos's perspective. And even though my grandpa has passed away, I think we'll still always have that Polishness inside us, and hopefully that'll get passed down from generations to come.